not duplicating your pocket. I always emphasize that you should go and check it out there. Now today, it is interesting that I'm joined by Superintendent Police Thomas Baboineki, of course, here from from Chira Road Police Station, and we're going to discuss a very, very interesting topic about offenses of cheating and of false pretense in our society. You know, we have so many of people in society today. We could call them buffet, something sort of, but today we are going to highlight. He's going to give us light in terms of this. What in case they are caught, what happens to them, everything like that. But first, I'm going to allow him introduce himself to us. Good morning, Afand.
Yeah, good morning, viewers and everyone who is tuned in to Family TV. I want to thank God for the gift of your life and whatever that you are doing today. And we dedicate all the works of your hands in the name of God. I'm glad to be on Family TV. Like you have introduced me, I'm Superintendent of Police Thomas Baboineki. I'm the Community Liaison Officer for Chira Road Police Division. Thank you.
Okay, that is interesting, Fund, and we are truly happy to have you here to share light on this particular topic, offenses of cheating and false pretense. Now, what are the legal definitions of this particular case of cheating and false pretense?
Basically, I just want to inform you, like you've said, it is an offense, it is crime, and we all know that crime is doing something that deviates from the set norms, rules, or the laws set out in the different books of law and legislations. So, whenever you do something that is contrary to that, it means you've committed a crime, you've committed an offense. But cheating in itself is a deliberate move, effort, or action of an individual to take away something capable of being stolen from from another person. So, for example, you may be having a certain property, but a person will come and convince you that, you know, when you give this one to me, it will multiply 10 times, or when I deliver this, I'll be in position to gain here and there. So you find that this person's motive behind is formed to ensure that he defrauds you of your property, and in turn, he takes the gain and you are left in a loss. So basically, when someone approaches you to try and take away something from you by means, it may not be by force, but by deceitful means. You know, he tries to convince you that he might be doing the right thing, so they end up taking away something from you. You remain in pain, you remain in anguish, and it impacts on you in a negative way, having lost that kind of property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can you provide some examples, vivid examples here in Uganda, basically, that could shed light, because someone may not truly understand what we're talking about? Examples of these offenses that have been caught.
The examples of the offenses, someone who is familiar with the penal code, you can read from section 304, that where we define false pretense, cheating, and all that. But it is a big scope when we talk about cheating. For example, if you go around in the business community, you'll realize that there are people that are being conned of their money, of their merchandise, of their different things. Then in offices, you'll find that there are people who cheat people. Some do forgeries, others do personations and impersonations. You personate to be a police officer, you are not. Some other will personate to be a legal officer or a lawyer. When they are not, they will promise to help you, and in return, they will maybe take something from you, which may include money, which may include your other assets, and they are taken. So it is a very big thing, and it is a very big scourge today in Uganda. For example, you people, you are alive to the fact that there are even some other companies that may be formed to simply defraud people A recent example I can give you is of the BLQ. Those of you that were alive to that fact, they tell you that you keep depositing your money, they invest for you, and in the end, or even in the long run, they end up going with whatever that you will have deposited in there, and tracing for them becomes now our part, which I can confirm to Ugandans that we able to do that, and we ensure that at least we protect. But that is too far of what we can do. As police today, we believe we can better prevent than to cure, because at the time we are going into investigations, losses have already been made, people are already in anger, distressed, and all that. You realize that when something is not prevented, the effects, the aftermath of the effects become too disastrous and unlikable. So we only want to try and raise the awareness levels of Ugandans that we should be alert. We should at all times try to avoid such schemes even when they come. Try to find out whether a person who is telling you that this should be done like this and that is the rightful persons. You know, the problem with Ugandans is that most of us always want shortcuts. We want to do things in a speedy way. We always want to expedite. We don't want to waste time. We always want to evade the official way of doing things. So you end up finding such affairs, the conmen, to convince you that for them they can even do it better for you. So it is better we always try to follow the official means that are put in place. When it is an investment, please find out from the different stakeholders and supervisors of such investment or financial kind of programs, such that we are not defrauded. We should always do a background check on everything that comes along, such that we avoid being defrauded.
Okay, and talking about that, have you as police come out to try maybe sensitizing or creating awareness to the people out there? Are there methods you've reached out to the communities?
Yeah, thank you. One of them is this one, the media campaign. We always reach out to the different stakeholders in the media industry, the TV stations, radio stations. We even run social media programs. You'll find us on YouTube. We'll always be there. You'll find us on Facebook, on Twitter, at Uganda, at Police Uganda. And we'll always put such information, trying to alert people on different kinds of crime, even when, if they are black spots or crime-prone spots. We warn people not to fall prey in such instances, such that we avoid this, because we believe when we arm Ugandans with information, they can be in better position to always defend themselves from such kind of issues. So we always do different community meetings in our different localities, the different police officers there. They normally invite people for community meetings, that let's come, discuss these issues, and collectively try to find solutions to them. So I only urge Ugandans, I just want to put this clear before this national television, that there are people who do not take interest in joining the rest of the communities to discuss security. People take it as maybe a waste of time. You realize that when we mobilize, we want to sensitize people. We want people to bring in their input on how best we can prevent crime and do better security-wise. People normally shun these engagements, but it is for your own good, it is for our own good as we plan and prepare to secure you in your localities. Yes. Okay,
maybe taking us a little bit back behind, what acts are considered to be cheating or false pretense? Because someone could say, they take advantage of the ignorant community somehow. So what acts could be considered to this is now cheating, this is now false pretense?
There are too many. I've just enumerated some of them, like I've told you. To begin with, in that book called the Penal Code Act 2007, you will realize that, first of all, obtaining money is one of the forms of cheating. Obtaining credit, someone comes, they say, just lend me this 10,000. I'll return it late in the evening. So that person, in the end, they keep changing goalposts. They are not around. They are this and that. So they will go with your money, and you realize that now you have to come to police or go to the courts of law to seek redress. So it is important that every time, for example, if you are to give out money, if you are not willing to lose it, have at least a kind of memorandum written down or an agreement with that person that you are lending him such a sum of money, such that at least legally you can claim it in case they try to change around. There are people that do counterfeiting, you know, especially in production. You realize that someone will even advertise for a certain merchandise. They will say this is this and that. But in packaging, you realize that it is not that was advertised that is on sale now, or that you have eventually taken home. So you realize that different government agencies are trying whatever they can. Those in the medical department, industry, you realize that the government medical stores, they always try as much as they can to try and impound the counterfeit drugs that are on the market. But that is also a form of what? A form of cheating. So we need to be keen on that. You can talk about the checks, things involving money. Some people do go and make false money, what we call a vichupuri. So someone will go and try to manufacture a note that is alike to that of the 50,000 legal tender for Bank of Uganda, and they keep, you know, saturating it by deceit. You realize very many people fall prey. You give away your merchandise, your property up for sale, but in return you'll have received a fake note which you may not tender anywhere. So you will have lost in that regard. Some even give back change money. So you have given you a fake note, you end up again giving back what you have already earned. That is rightful currency. Okay. So there are too many personation, like I've told you. There are even other people that say they come in the name of other officers. Someone will come and say, I'm a magistrate here, I'm in charge of your case, please. If you want me to give you a favor, just pay this amount. Or I'm a police officer, I'm in charge of this and that. Pay me this amount if you want to obtain favor from me and all that. And you realize in this Uganda of today, there are many people who pretend to be brokers. Someone will tell you, if you want help from this and that office, I can able to help you get letters of administration. I can help you secure a court bail for you and all that. You realize some of them might be false people who are just trying to ensure that they milk whatever you've earned and to their advantage. So all that is false precedence, it is cheating, it is illegal, it is illegitimate, and once you realize that you are in such danger, kindly we advise that you get to the nearest police facility and have that reported, such that maybe it is arrested before maybe the assailant takes off, or before it even escalates to more in a dangerous situation. So that is it. Another thing I can talk about, very many people have been defrauded. Especially, I want to talk about the local people in those villages out there, even here in town. You realize that there are these guys that are always on streets trying to play gaming. They tell you, if you put your money on this, you will have to win this and that. So even if it is gaming, it has to be licensed. You know, we have the Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Authority. So it has to license such a game if it is to be played.
So these on streets are illegal?
They are too illegal. Okay. So in case they are found, they are supposed to be arrested there and then, such that we save Ugandans from being defrauded of their monies. Then there are these other people that will always call you. Others will send you messages that, you know, you have won a Christmas gift from Family TV, but kindly, what are the initials of your national ID? First send 500,000 as we process your present. So someone who is gullible, they may end up being defrauded along that line. So my message to Ugandans is that we need to be alert and sensitive to everything that is not in your plan. Even if it is in your plan, let's always try to seek advise, let's try to consult, try and find out whether we are doing something that is right.
Okay, that is interesting. I think this also comes to a situation whereby you find a community is like mostly the youth. They have nothing to do in regards to jobs, employment, and when these things come up, they are easily taken off. Frauds and all that. So I think also it could be a caution for every person. Do not take the time of your anxiety to just waste by following what the frauds will tell you. For me, I call them frauds. Yes, but now, Afande, moving back, you mentioned about police. People pretending to be police and then they end up frauding this. Is somehow, somewhere, the community believes that because police in terms of intelligence is up there in the game, so somehow the community believes by the time these things happen, police know that these things are going to happen. How true is this?
Normally, I want to use the Uganda proverb that akalina abiri katego otega kalaba. So I don't want to tell you or deceive you that we always know whatever that is taking place. Of course, we have our intelligence network, it is always there, but in one way or another, the other person that is trying to scheme a trap to defraud someone, they will always also have intelligence on the police. So you realize that at a time they are planning all that, they are sure that maybe the security officers are not within the vicinity, or it can take them time. So even when we try to do that, we always face such challenges, because one, you do not know that person who is scheming a kind of crime, but for them they are seeing you. In most of the cases, for us we're in uniform, save for our intelligence officers and those in the investigation department. But however, I just want to advise Ugandans that at all times, if you want to, for example, if someone personates for another person, kindly ask them for identification. Because someone will come on civilian, will pretend to be a commissioner of police, a superintendent of police, and all that, and they will defraud you. Kindly ask for identification to show, they should show you that they are really the right people. And even when they are provided it, because it is possible that someone can go ahead and and reproduce something that is alike of an identification of either policeman or an officer of family TV or any other entity. So it is better always to try and find out such that you are not defrauded. Let's not act in speed. We normally say speed kills. So if we are always acting in a rush and out of anxiety or out of excitement, we'll fall prey to these bad people. So kindly let's always reduce on our speed. The police, we care. We care a lot to try and wipe out these Ugandans. But you know, for me, I'm a religious person. I'll tell you that right away from the fall of man, we will always move with the sin alongside us. So those people will always continue scheming. Even when we give it our best, we tell you to be vigilant. Satan will always be with us, and we only have to try and see how we work together, the community, the police, the different stakeholders, to put in place mechanisms that can try and stop these kind of vices from happening. Yes, even that bad person will always target a weaker person. So in case they see you are lacking in knowledge, in understanding, even in physique, they will try to attack you in whichever way. But once they see that you are capable of defending yourself, maybe mentally, physically, and all that, they may also take a back step and they will not attack you.
Okay. Yeah. And maybe, Afande, what is the relationship between these offenses and white-collar jobs? Because in most cases, you find cheating, false pretense, mostly happening in white-collar jobs.
Yeah, like I told you, many of the Ugandans, first of all, we do not know the procedure. So when someone wants help from somewhere, they will try to find out what's the procedure, whom do I contact, whom do I consult. So in the end, you realize that these bad people, they will always be close around there. These are people who even understand the procedure. Some of them might have either worked with such organizations, whether private or public. So they will know the norms. They will even tell you, they will describe for you what takes place in there. So within you who is listening, you may end up, you know, thinking that you are taking advantage, that someone is trying to help you, but when they have ill intentions. So the white collar jobs, the official kind of situations, people take advantage because they believe others are gullible, and they will try to confuse you here and there, try to promise you that they are the rightful people. So you realize it is very hard, especially if you don't know the procedure. You'll always fall prey. But like I've told you, always try to go to the offices. If it is going upstairs into the building, please try to go there. What I know, different companies, different government agencies have put in place places where you can be received. The receptions will always be there. You'll find security officers there. Kindly ask those people in uniform, especially at the gates, ask them whether what you want to achieve is achievable there. Maybe they can always try and guide you on what you can do, other than dealing with middlemen and brokers. Okay. Yes.
And are there any legal developments in terms of curbing these cases?
Yes, the different legislations, like I've told you, the Penal Code, the Anti-Corruption Act, and all that. Different legislations have been passed to try and curb these vices, because they in turn affect the development of Uganda. So if you have your money and you intend to invest it here and there, if it is defrauded, it means development is being hampered. So the different legislations that as police we enforce, because the whole thing of investigations begin with the police, especially for these criminal offenses. You have to go personally, table in or report your complaint against that person or individual or a group of people, that you explain the depth of what has happened to you. The police officers at counter will advise you on the kind of offense that can be registered, and you will be helped, and we will see how we investigate, cause the arrest of that person that has defrauded you. Then we forward to the state attorneys or the DPP for perusal. Once they feel that there is enough evidence to incriminate such a person, they will be produced to court for adjudication and all that.
And exactly on that, once there is enough evidence, there is, I don't know if this is right, but there are some particular conmen we have seen, but they keep moving out of the cells every time and then. What is the problem? Is it because there is no evidence, or what? What could be the issues?
There can be a number of issues. First of all, every Ugandan is presumed to be innocent until he's proven guilty, or if he pleads guilty by himself or herself. So, in that context, you realize that someone will be in police custody for not more than 48 hours. That is approximately 2 days. So after those 48 hours in police custody, they are entitled to a police bond. The law prescribes that we should investigate. If we feel the evidence is still insufficient, we continue investigating, but they should get their freedom of association and all of that. So we can never incarcerate anybody suspected of having committed a crime for more than 48 hours. Then if they are entitled to a police bond, they may keep reporting. Or even when for us we may forward such files, someone is taken to court, takes plea, he may either be granted court bail or, so we are talking about a situation where a suspected conman has been seen, arrested, then within 3, 4, 5 days is seen again in the public, as if the law enforcement agencies, we are not working and all that. I can only tell you that we are doing our part, but also the provisions of the law. We have to be law-abiding. We must grant people their freedoms that are given to them by the Constitution. Some of them are even innate. They are inborn. So we cannot go ahead violating people's rights and all that. But what is important for you, a person that has suffered such kind of crime, you need to keep following up. Keep following up. Every time we ask that we need such evidence, can we collaborate and get this kind of evidence and all that? Can we bring in exhibits and other witnesses to try and pin this person? Because the burden of proof of whether someone has committed a crime against you lies on you. It lies on the victim to prove that this is the person that actually took my money. This is the person that actually promised me that he would do ABC, and in turn he has not done it. So the onus will always be on you. So for us as police, we try to guide you on how you can bring in the evidence, on how the witnesses can be aligned, and how we can better preserve our evidence such that we secure a conviction where this person can ably serve a sentence upon conviction. Yeah, a sentence can be in the form of incarceration in the prisons, or it can be in form of a fine, depending on the law and on the discretion of the trial magistrate or judge. Yes.
Now, don't you think when the community is there, because those who complain may not be understanding why someone is released on bail or something like that. Don't you think there is mistrust now in the community, because they assume someone did steal this money, and yes, it was, but after a few hours you see them out? Don't you think that now the community is going to develop a lot of mistrust to the police organ?
Yeah, I think it can happen or not, but what we have always advised, especially in the investigations department, we always try to reach out to the victim or the concerned people, try and explain to them why ABC has happened, and such that we move at the same pace, because it's not good if you have arrested someone and within a few hours is seen back in the community. There is no explanation to the person that has made this cause. So really, it is always important, and we try to ensure that we explain to them that this person is simply on bond. Your complaint is still being investigated, and we continue along that line. But I know there is this practice where our complainants, sometimes they feel they have to authorize or advise on whether someone is to be given bond. The authority or the responsibility to give bond lies in the hands of a policeman. In this case, it might be the investigations officer or the head of that police unit. So when they see that maybe the evidence is still insufficient, or it does not warrant incarceration of a person in the police cells, they can always advise that we are giving bond. But it is not that you, who is a victim, you must consent to that activity of giving bond. So the investigating officer will decide he also has that discretion or liberty to say this person deserves to be out. We can investigate even when he's out, provided that we have carried out our study that his being out may not interfere with our investigations. Yes.
Now, I want us to go back to basically the BLQ, the online transactions and all those things. Isn't it challenging to investigate such cases, and what happens to the people majorly who suffered such losses?
One, I must tell Ugandans that such online kind of schemes, yes, they are hard, because in the first place, you as the individual, you will be lured. And what I know, I'm not a victim. They put in place a mechanism where you see that these things are real. You keep winning, other people keep winning. Then in return, you also have to procure others, you convince others to join the same scheme. And in the end, it becomes, many of you will get defrauded. But as police, we have upped our kind of, we have increased our game. We have upped our game in trying to investigate such matters. In that we have different IT experts in the departments of investigations, those that can track, that can block transactions and all that. We always try to ensure that they are up to date. We have different people in software, hardware, and all that. So it is important that we just work as a group. I know we keep following up. We have a full department in the crime investigations directorate concerned with cyber crimes, those crimes that are committed on the internet and online. So they try to follow up from here, where did it go from here, such that we try to curtail, and if it is possible, we even arrest these culprits. Okay. So like the case of BLQ, I'm very sure, and I can authoritatively say that those perpetrators were arrested. And as I talk, they are incarcerated. So they are awaiting trial, and at the right time, I think if we only align our evidence very well, we will certainly get a conviction. And what I cannot able to tell you is that maybe someone may easily get back their monies. Yes, if it is found, it can be reimbursed, it can be returned. But the main, what police does in most cases is to ensure that this person faces the arm of the law. And like the penal code, you see the word penal code and punishment, they are correlated. Okay. So every time we arrest a person, we provide them for trial, we are looking at having this person punished. Maybe after that punishment, people may feel the justice has been done and justice is being done. So basically, we are giving it our best. We are not sleeping on job. We are not sleeping on duty. We'll always try and ensure that every person that commits crime within Uganda and outside Uganda, for as long as we can have them brought to book, they will always be arrested and they face trial.
Okay, that is interesting. Maybe before we go for a short break, are there specific penalties or punishments for these perpetrators, so that someone who would really want to invest themselves in frauding people can learn what will happen if they are caught?
Yeah, there are different punishments. They are prescribed in the penal code. I may not read one after the other. Okay. Like I've told you from section 304, for those that can access that book. Yeah, you can even download it. Yeah, many people now have smartphones. Yes. You can download that law, interest yourself in it. There are different punishments ranging from imprisonment to a number of years and all that. Sometimes according to the discretion of the trial magistrate or the judge, they will say, you go to Luzira and serve this sentence, 5 years on you, 10 years on you, 2 months on you, or you pay. So you can be ordered to compensate, or even both punishments. You pay a fine, or you pay compensation, or you are at the same time detained, arrested, and you are in prison. Okay. Yes.
So the people who were part of the BLQ stuff could have hopes of having back their monies, those who were frauded?
Yeah, they could have it because we have the suspects within us. The other thing I would want to talk about before we go for a break is that at times we fall victims of these frauds. There are people, like for example, you are convinced that when you do ABC, this person will help you. So I will have, in my capacity, recruited you to try and join that scam. Okay. So why we need to be conscious with this is that if you recruit a person and they are defrauded and you say that I didn't know, in this case, for example, the staff of such companies, you may end up being charged with conspiracy to defraud because you are seen, you're also mobilizing people, you are receiving money on behalf of someone. So at the end of the day, they will say that you are part of what? Of the scheme. So at all times, even when you recruit a person, be conscious, have the right information that you are recruiting someone into something profitable. Otherwise, if it turns out to be bad, you'll be guilty of conspiracy to defraud other people. Yes.
Interesting. We still have this interesting discussion, of course, with ASP Thomas Baboineki here with us, the Community Liaisons Officer in our police here in Uganda. And it is really flowing very well, and I think you are having this information impacted into you so that you don't be frauded at any moment. We are still discussing offences of cheating and false pretense, but shortly after the break we shall be coming back for more.
Issues at Hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives. Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Comfort and luxury at its best as Protea Hotel by Marriott in Entebbe. So please reach out and interest yourself in having the best kind of life in terms of accommodations, facilities for a hotel like that one. So please find time, go to Entebbe, have the best. In case you're traveling from abroad or you're planning to travel abroad as well, you can rest there, then head to the airport. You don't need to drive those long distances. We are still discussing offenses of cheating and false pretense, and of course here with me is SP Thomas Baboineki, the community liaisons officer. So, and I want us to curb this very well, and I want Afande to tell me some of the collaborative efforts you have made, either between you, the police, and any other entities in order to curb the cheating and false pretense in society.
Yeah, first of all, I welcome you back from that break. We will always work with different stakeholders, but to begin with, you, the person down there, because you are the victim. We believe we need to ensure that you are protected in whatever that you do, because that is our first mandate: protect and serve, protect lives and property. So we only try to ensure that we raise awareness levels, which we are doing, and I will always reiterate. Then we always have to ensure that we guide you on what you must do, the do's and the don'ts here and there, then on what you can provide us to ensure that we ably investigate the kind of crime committed against you. Then we work with the office of the DPP, that's a government office, to try and ensure that we at least pin that person whom we suspected of have committed that crime. So the DPP has also been helpful and is still helpful in investigating such crime. Then the judiciary, the judges and the magistrates, we always bring them on board, especially when we realize that some, for example, habitual offenders. You talked about someone today has defrauded son, so tomorrow is the same person, the other day is the same person. For such habitual offenders, we profile them, even when they have not yet been convicted. At least we try to draw a line and say, why this person always? Why him always? You know, and we try to link him to that crime, but the end result is always to try and wipe out this person. We believe once they are out of the society, at least society can rest. Okay. Yes. That
is interesting. And what some of the sensitizations out to the community out there in terms of cheating and false pretense? What should the community be aware of as we wind up this particular one?
I think I only have to tell the community to be vigilant. You see, arm yourselves with the knowledge about these issues. Don't act in isolation. Sometimes you see a mufere will always squeeze you in the corner, try to convince you, and they will never give you time to try and consult here and there. There are too many. I've not talked about frauds in land-related transactions. Okay. You realize this person is there, is selling land. Land has been bought 10 times by different people. There are more than a title on the same piece of land. So all those ones, for me, what I can only tell whoever is viewing us today, that let's be vigilant, let's be aware that there are these people. We should live with this fact that someone someday just wants to take advantage of you, take your resources, and use them to his advantage at your own disadvantage. So let's just be vigilant. Okay. Yes.
That is interesting indeed. Be vigilant and be extra vigilant. Talking of vigilance, we are heading to the festive season. This is always a tense moment in terms of the safety of the community on road, but also at home. people tend to steal, people tend to do every sort of things. But what are the precautions as we head to this particular session of the Christmas period? How should we behave in society is what now we are going to hear from Fande. And basically on the road safety.
Yeah.
How ready should we be?
Very, very important. You know, road safety is very important these days because I know as we go into the rush hours, you realize that different motorists may want to try and beat time, try to maximize as much as they can. So they will always want to cover longest distances in the short period of time. So I want to send this to the motorists, those driving passenger vehicles and cargo vehicles, that let's try to be good people on the road. Let's drive those vehicles responsibly. It's important. Okay. Reduce the speed. If you think you have sipped some drink that is intoxicating, kindly don't get near the steering wheel. Don't drink and drive, basically. And I know the Department of Traffic and Road Safety has upped its operations. And for those of you on major highways, you'll always have those operations, Fika Salama. But what I can tell you is that don't do anything for the sake of pleasing police officers and those in enforcement. Do it for yourself or do it for others. If you think you have something that you have taken, kindly don't drive for the sake of others. Because you are going to have people that will be going about their businesses in the right direction, but because for you are intoxicated, you lead to such catastrophes. Accidents will be like accidents. So we just want motorists, it begins with you. Before the rest of us, before a policeman stops you, you yourself, you need to drive responsibly. This takes me back to my colleagues in the transport industry, the Uganda bus operators, the Uganda taxi operators. See, prevail over those drivers. Yes, it is important. Through your different associations, you can always try and create some sanity. If a bus is setting off from a bus terminal, kindly ensure that the person that is driving that bus is well tested and that he's not even tired. Because at one point you may not be drunk, but you will be tired. Or you will be having other issues going over your head. You are stressed, you are depressed here and there. You end up crashing a vehicle, crashing it along with others, crashing it into the buildings. These ones going off the road and all that. So it can be disastrous. Every life matters. It's what I will tell all the motorists. And for those of you that are pedestrians, you also try, give it your best. Try to use the walkways very well, such that we try to save a life. Yes. And you really talked about speeding, mostly for these now bus operators. During these seasons, they want to cover so much because there are so many people traveling to their respective places, like or villages or homes. What regulations are going to be put in place to avoid these overspeeding? Because they want to move fast and then come back, pick like as many people they can. Yeah, I know the Transport Licensing Board is doing its best to try and see that at least for these long journeys, those buses do not make return routes. Once you've left Kampala, you are going to either Arua, you just take that, such that we avoid this thing of rush here and there. So even for taxis, there is an umbrella body called the Uganda Taxi Operators Federation, UTOF. Kindly, the leaders, if you are watching me out there, kindly prevail over, for example, these long distance vehicles. They always want to make as many journeys as they can. Prevail over them, prevail over those drivers. Even amongst yourselves, check those drivers that are not allowed to drive, those that don't meet the requirements, as in the classes in the permit to drive passengers. Let them not come near the steering wheel. So let's act together. For the sake of speed, police is doing its best. We have those speed guns. We net you, we either stop you for that journey, will not proceed, or you are issued with an express penalty ticket. It is punitive on your side, because imagine paying 200,000 So I'm only warning you motorists. Let's try to respect the law. Let's try to protect our lives. Our families are still young. Your families are still young. Let's protect them. It is that important.
It is interesting. And now also, during these particular periods, we always have cases of theft. They tend to raise mostly these particular festive seasons. What measures are we putting forward as the police?
Maybe before I respond to that, I want to, in the remaining minutes, I want to communicate to Ugandans that just in case you want to reach out to police, maybe your police station down there or the police headquarters, we have these numbers. I want you to take note of them.
Oh, sure.
We have a WhatsApp number. Wherever you are, you can take a video, you can record a voice note, you can take a pic, or you can give any information via WhatsApp. The number is 0779 999 999. They will be speaking to police, and we will have people to respond to your queries, to your complaint, and all that. Then there is you can also take note of this toll-free line at your own time. If you have a challenge here and there, take note of 0800 12 22 91. There will be covered. Make your complaint, make your submission, we'll be in position to respond to you. The other thing I want to talk about the different stakeholders out there in your villages, in your town, and wherever you're living. Make police a place you can visit at all time. I want us to always create a situation where we can always visit police at will. One is to get information about the different trends of crime, or you can even come to give us information about a certain activity that is taking place within. So kindly go to the nearest police. You may want to call that number, it is fine. But if you have the numbers of your OCs, your DPCs, it will make much more difference. Because just in case you need an emergency help, you can easily call in the DPC, call the OC, call the operations office, and all that. They can always respond and have you covered. So for these festive days where we are going, we know there are those people that don't want to work, but they would want to live and earn. So they will be out there. What I'm only telling you that let's try to be extra vigilant. In case it has you are a victim of crime, kindly run to police. Police services are free of charge. You will not be charged of anything. Reporting an offense or a crime against you is free of charge. Get to the counters, have your case reported, and the police officers will help you. Maybe lastly, before I leave, I'm a football fan. I want to say hello to the Express FC fans and all the fans of Ugandan football out there. Let's go and watch our league. Yes, today they are games.
Express is playing.
Express is not playing today. Currently, they're investigating cases of hooliganism against us. But I want to advise that let's stop this kind of hooliganism. Even when officiation has not gone into your favor, kindly don't attack anyone, don't infringe on anyone's rights. No one deserves to be battered. No one deserves to be treated in a degrading way. So I want to say thank you to Family TV. Thank you for hosting me. I'm glad to have had a nice conversation with you. Ugandans out there, we want you to enjoy the best of the festive season. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Afande. It is very, very important, as he noted, that visit police at will. Make police a friend to you. Do not really fear or get scared of a police officer somewhere. I was sometime back, we were discussing here with a policeman who had come here, and we were talking about how the community fears them so much. But please do not fear any police officer. They are here for you, and they are here to serve you at any given time. Please make use of the numbers they have given. We were discussing cheating, offences of cheating and false pretense, but of course you understand how this was very important to have the information on safety and your own safety, and also safety on the road. It has been a really interesting discussion here with the Superintendent of Police, Thomas Baboineki, the Community Liaison Officer, Chira Road Police Station, and it has really been an interesting one. We have been powered by Protea Hotel.